Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Genesis 3, verse 17. And to Adam he said, "Because you listened to the voice of your wife and ate of the tree about which I commanded you, saying, 'You shall not eat of it,' cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life." In the Zohar, this verse is seen as the divine decree upon Adam, the archetype of the universal soul, following the first spiritual failure, not merely disobedience, but misalignment with the divine word, and elevation of external influence over inner da'at, which is supernal knowing. The punishment reflects both the metaphysical consequences of broken alignment and the beginning of spiritual exile for all humanity. The first phrase we have, "because you listen to the voice of your wife." Misaligned reception. The Zohar clarifies, this is not an indictment of the feminine, but a rebuke for passivity, for allowing external influence to override divine command. Adam's error was not simply listening to Eve, but failing to elevate her voice into divine alignment. He received influence without discernment, allowing horizontal voice to override vertical instruction. He did not listen as one who uplifts, but as one who is drawn downward. In Kabbalah, this reflects a breakdown between Tiferet, the harmonized heart and mind, and Malkuth, which is expression and manifestation. When the masculine principle loses direction, the entire structure descends into chaos. Next, we have the phrase, "and ate of the tree," reversal of divine flow. The Zohar views eating the fruit as a metaphysical consumption of knowledge before readiness, a premature grasping of da'at, knowledge, without keter, divine alignment. Eating from the tree of knowledge introduces the mingling of good and evil into creation. Adam internalizes confusion, bringing spiritual impurity into the very act of sustenance and perception. He fed upon duality, and so the world became mixed. Now, discernment itself becomes corrupted, and the path to divine union becomes obstructed by illusion. The next phrase we have, "Cursed is the ground for your sake." The earth mirrors man. This is not a simple punishment, it is a cosmic mirroring. According to the Zohar, Adam's spiritual fall ripples into the fabric of the earth, which had previously been blessed to yield with ease. Now, the earth becomes resistant to Adam. The Shekinah, which was united with creation, withdraws, and nature no longer flows with divine ease. The earth responds to the man, for he is her breath. When he fell, her gates were closed. Thus, labor, survival, and even harvest become burdened with sorrow, reflecting the internal exile of the soul. In sorrow shall you eat of it. The fall of divine sustenance. Eating, originally a holy act of receiving divine light through the body, becomes a sorrowful necessity. According to the Zohar, the seamless flow of sustenance from above is blocked. Humanity now must struggle and labor to draw even a fragment of light. This sorrow is not just economic, it is existential. The soul remembers its origin, and eating becomes an act of exile. He shall eat but only through sighs shall the gates open. Only through prayer, effort, and intention can man transform eating back into a holy act. The mystical reversal behind this verse: elevation through sorrow. Paradoxically, the curse becomes a path. The Zohar teaches that the sorrow is not without purpose. It humbles the ego. It awakens yearning. It transforms physical toil into a spiritual ladder. Through sweat and struggle, man begins to rectify the severed channels, bringing divine consciousness into material effort. Through broken bread and broken heart, the sparks begin to rise again. Thus, the sorrow of labor becomes the fire of teshuvah, returning through effort what was lost through ease. To summarize, Genesis 3 verse 17 is God's decree to Adam, which the Zohar interprets not just as punishment, but as a cosmic response to spiritual imbalance. The phrase, "because you listened to the voice of your wife," Adam failed to lead with discernment. He received horizontally without uplifting and allowed external desire to override divine alignment. The phrase, "and ate of the tree," by internalizing the tree of knowledge before readiness, Adam mixed good and evil within himself, bringing confusion into the world. The phrase, "cursed is the ground for your sake," the earth, once harmonized with man's soul, now resists him, reflecting his own disconnection from the source. In sorrow shall you eat of it, sustenance, once pure divine flow, becomes toil and burden. But this sorrow is the seed of redemption, transforming labor into elevation. The Zohar sees in this verse a portrait of spiritual exile, but also a hidden gate of return. Through sorrow, the soul is humbled. Through labor, holiness is drawn into the world again. And through teshuvah, even the cursed ground will bloom. That's it for today. Thank you very much for your donation. Be blessed, everyone, and I will see you on the next episode.